Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Women's Republican Club. My name is Clint Ives, as Randy said. I'm the County Commissioner for Precinct 4. I took office January 3rd of 2011, and I've held that office for going on 8 years. So what have we accomplished in those 8 years, or 7 years, 2 months? We've seen smaller budgets. We've lowered your tax rate. We've expanded county services. And I'm humbled to receive a unanimous vote from my colleagues as County Judge Pro Tem for budget year 2018. In the precinct, we've seen twice as much pavement as we saw in the prior decade, ditches that drain, efficiency, and accountability. One of the most recent achievements, due to overwhelming support from the community, our legislators, the legislative body, as well as Commissioner's Court, was stopping a toxic sludge permit that threatened the public health in Inez, Texas. I find it insulting to the community that my opponent would accept his largest campaign contribution from this industry. Now, he's going to claim innocence. He didn't know who they were. He didn't know where it came from. The money's coming from every direction. But this is like Hillary claiming she don't know who the Russians are. The name attached to this contribution has been in the media for more than 24 times over the past 2 years. The name, along with the public health threat for Inez, Texas. This race could not be more clear. You have to look at the record and you have to look at experience. We have lowered your tax rate. We have implemented conservative budget ideals. My opponent is running with sludge money that Victoria County fought for 2.5 years. He has never voted. He registered to vote 90 days ago and got on the ballot. This is not leadership. This is not a record to be proud of. The Commissioner's Court of Victoria County has a record that we can be proud of. That's a record of conservative ideals and integrity. Thank you.
Mr. Schroller.
Okay, just to get the record straight, I did receive a donation through Raise the Money campaign. It's a website, and Clint is wrong. I will admit to it. And when we figure out how to get that money back, we're going to get back to that guy. Thank you. I would like to thank Victoria County, the Republicans Women's Club. They did a great job tonight. Very professional organization. The citizens of Victoria for being here. It's pretty late already. The Boy Scouts, I was in that group 50 years ago and realized how old I am. Truly excited about being here tonight and being your next county commissioner. Been a lifelong resident of Precinct 4. Realize we need a proven leader that genuinely cares about the citizens, the employees of the county, and fair distribution of the taxpayers' money. The citizens in the rural areas are normally the ones that are the most impacted by the county commissioner's leadership. And here are some of the biggest changes that you're going to see. They sound really simple, but these are big concerns for citizens. Phone calls, emails are answered in a timely manner. Drainage and road hazards, such as signs, they're considered high priority. My opponent says they're not. The entry to Victoria is enhanced. I would love to take my Kubota and haul the burning RV off that is an eyesore to Victoria County. The welcome sign that has been down for some time in the Precinct 4 shop area, which is in front of the airport, which is a bigger eyesore. Citizens of the employees county are considered assets of the community. We see them as assets. Decisions made by our Commissioner's Court is enhanced through teamwork, and I think we need a leader that puts systems and measures in place to avoid the issues. Something as simple as a stop sign being down for months, that's a big issue. We're talking about people's lives. We need someone that embraces the concerns of the citizens, builds relationships, and takes action. The core values of the new Precinct 4 Community County Commissioner, it's going to look like this. Treating our citizens as our best customers. Power of position is non-existent. showing empathy and fairness to all. We work through the citizens, the employees, and other leaders to accomplish more. The word I is replaced with we. Systems are in place for documenting work, planning, schedule, and execution. We have new technology. We need to use it. Performance measures are visible to the public in real time. We take a systematic approach and address and solve problems. This approach will eliminate hasty decision-making and social media speculation. Thank you.
Mr. Ives, the first question is, what percentage of the tax base does Precinct 4 provide the county?
What percentage of the tax base does Precinct 4
Provide the county.
provide the county?
Yes.
That's an economic development number. I do not have that number. I can tell you that Precinct 4 has a budget of $1.5 million for the 2018 budget year. That is $40,000 less from 2017. We run lean. We are a conservative commissioner's court. We are a conservative precinct. There are a lot of things that need to be done. We do not have the funding for it. We will not strap the taxpayer for solutions to problems that we have not exhausted every option available to us. We get creative with our budgets. We pave twice as many numbers as we do the prior decade. We address public safety issues as we can. My opponent is misleading when he's referencing stop signs. We lost 2/3 of our signs in Hurricane Harvey. They're gone. The sign companies are backlogged. It's reality. We do not prioritize stop signs over something menial. It's simply, we've got to, in the recovery process, Precinct 4, there is a priority list that comes down. Accessing those roads and those neighborhoods is a priority. Signs are something we are working on. Thank you.
Mr. Schroller, the question is, what percentage of the tax base does Precinct 4 provide the county?
I don't have that figure. We have experts, we have directors in every department that takes care of that. And we have to trust in those directors. Those are the ones that put the budgets together. As a commissioner's court, they approve them. We've had some issues. You've seen a lot of media speculation around some of the issues that we're having in some of the areas. But I think in Precinct 4, we're looking at how well is it not taken care of and where are we spending our money. So right now, I think we have a new building over there that cost over $500,000 for our maintenance employees. And that's a lot of money to put into a maintenance building. Not saying that we don't need one, but that's a lot of money we could have put somewhere else. Thank you.
Mr. Schroller, you'll take this next question. And it is, what does civic service mean to you?
Civic service means a lot to me because right now I'm the U.S. apprenticeship leader for our Dow apprenticeship program, and we're involved in a lot of education. We actually hire apprentices and set them up with college degrees and on-the-job training at the same time to bridge the skill gaps. I'm also a member of some of our networks out at Dow that help the community. One of our biggest groups is Habitat for Humanity. We spend a lot of time with that, as well as all the other committees that I'm on. I'm on advisory boards at the college. I was the past chairman of the board for our credit union, which is now TDECU. At one time it was Union Carbide. Thank you.
Mr. Ives, the question is, what does civic service mean to you?
Civic service starts with voting. I have voted in elections for nearly 2 decades. A lot of men and women overseas died defending that right. It's a right that I take very seriously. My opponent has never exercised that right. He is 62 years old. He has yet to vote. His first vote he will cast will be for himself. That is self-service. That is not civic service. There's no excuse for not voting, none whatsoever. We elected officials, we gripe about turnout, we gripe about the lack of registered voters within our community. This is a problem. This is the public not voicing their opinions. If you don't like the ballot, write in Bill Posey. Thank you.
Commissioner Ives, the question is, describe your real work experience and jobs you have held that will help you or have helped you in this position.
Real world experience. The courthouse is a world unto itself, so it doesn't qualify as real world experience. It is a whole other planet, trust me. I grew up in a ranching family. In high school, I was in the work program where you work half a day, and I went to work for Robinson Ranch, which is a 20,000 acre working cattle ranch. One of the best experiences of my life was the 10 years that I got to spend out there. I worked with my dad, and it doesn't matter where your father is in the authoritative chain of command, because he will be your boss. He will be the most difficult boss. And I love my father with all my heart. He taught me more in life than anything I could possibly have measured. The integrity, the keeping your word, respect, the general respect and for the public falls on the foundation of the years that I got to spend working with my father. So in a short amount of time, there's far more real world experience than other planetary courthouse experience, but I would yield the time that I got to spend with my father. Thank you.
Ms. Young class.
Yeah, you don't want to get him too excited. He's had 4 stints put in.
No, I'm not going to set the metal detector off at the airport this morning. Okay, the question, Mr. Schroller, is describe your real work experience and jobs you have held that will help you or have helped you in this position.
Okay, I've developed over $20+ million budgets working in industry. I was chairman of the board for our local credit union, which is now TDCU. I'm also the implementation leader for our work process improvements, and one of those is our U.S. apprenticeship program. I've implemented such things as SAP, which is a management software program. It includes planning, scheduling, and execution of work processes. Currently a member of several college advisory boards. I'm also the chairperson for our mechanical technology degree program at Victoria College. And again, it's about building relationships with the citizens, which I would consider the customers, and I think that is the key.
Mr. Schroller, you'll get the last question first. And the question is, please give details of your experience in budgeting and physical planning.
Okay, budgeting and physical planning. We actually started with zero-based budgeting, which has to do with salary, wages, benefits, materials, supplies, and that's what makes up our $150 million budget that we had in maintenance at Dow Chemical. The role I played in that, we actually have what we call an activity-based tool that we input all our big ticket items in, and we use that tool every year as historical data to put the next budget together.
Mr. Ives, last question is, please give details of your experience in budgeting and physical planning.
So I've been through 7 budget processes with Victoria County. That's generally a 1 to 2, sometimes 2.5 week process, depending on revenue cycles and how the budget is starting to unfold early in the year. We go through that process in August. This year the general fund is right under $37.5 million. That budget process also budgets my precinct budget, my road and bridge budget for the precinct. As I mentioned earlier, that precinct budget is right at $1.5 million, 40,000 down from last year. That Planning also goes in hand with that precinct budget. At the first of the year, my foreman and I make a priority list of roads that need to be addressed immediately. We take that construction budget, which comes down to about $500,000 once payroll and overhead and benefits and capital and all of that is taken out of it. I generally have about $500,000 to go into construction projects. We prioritize based on traffic counts. We prioritize based on need and public safety. Thank you.
Hold on to the mic. For 1 minute close, Mr. Ives.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I'll again thank you, Mr. Vivian. Thank you, Women's Republican Club. This race will come down to experience, qualifications, and ability to do the job. Check my record. My record is public. We're an open book. I've got road records going back to the first day that I took office. Our budgets are our financial record for the general fund. We have done more and spent less. Thank you.
Mr. Schroller, 1 minute close.
Okay, I just want to say that I truly want to be your next commissioner. I think we all have some things in the closet that we probably wouldn't share, including Clint. And I'm not that kind of person to take a shot at him, but I do truly want this job. I think I have all the experience in the world. I'm great at building relationships. I think that's one of the God-given talents that was given to me. That's why I've been so successful. And I always tell the students, you can have all that knowledge and experience in the world, but if you don't know how to build relationships with people, you won't ever be successful. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you. We wish you the best of luck.